Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well, and if you are new here, welcome. Thank you for joining me. So today we're just back at the plot, and I don't really have a plan for today, if I'm honest. I was going to plan yesterday, but I just didn't get around to. I had a little thought, and then for some reason, I just couldn't in my head remember what the plot looked like, and I couldn't quite find the pictures that I needed, and so I just thought, you know what, we're just going to turn up and we're just going to potter. So it has been dry the last few days though, so I'm going to try and just cut the grass down a little bit with the strimmer and just see how that goes. I also just want to tidy up. I didn't realize how it's not quite as tidy as I'd like it to be where I was working last time, so we're going to tidy that up a little bit. I want to get a few more bits into the what's it called, my apothecary. I'm going to call it the apothecary pot, or the apothecary area, rather than medicinal. I feel like medicinal kind of just like puts it all into one bracket, so we're going to go with apothecary. I don't know if that's the right word, but we're going to go with it. So yeah, a bit of a just like pottering day today. And then I brought my book with me, I brought my laptop with me, so I've got a few hours, so if I do just want to sit, read or write or whatever, the options are all there. I've also got a couple of snacks with me. Best thing about bringing fruit with you is that you don't have to worry about a rubbish bin or a rubbish bag or anything. Just go straight in the what's it called, straight in the compost, so that's all good. But yeah, so we're just going to just potter on, I think. Yeah, one thing I really want to do today is actually pull up this cover, which is just outside of the shed, and it's going to be for brassicas, but actually they're not quite ready yet. However, I do want to direct sow some carrots, and I know everyone always says it's far too early, but I've always planted them mid-Feb, and they've always done pretty well. So I'm just going to see how frozen the ground is. If the ground is far too cold or frozen, then we won't bother doing it today. But if they are, I've bought my seed packets with me, so yeah, we'll get them in here. I also want to move all of these like little bags today, and take up the cardboard, because when I put the cardboard down, it was basically this kind of ground, but as you can see, the grass was starting to grow quite a bit in it. So I'm wondering whether I've managed to suppress it enough and I can move all of this cardboard onto the grass areas, and here as well. It will just really make things a lot easier. And then I need to go through this mound of compost, because it was what the what's it called, the Christmas bed was, but it might actually still have some parsnips in there, so we're going to have a little search through that, and then I can just move like some of the compost over just to this area as well. Also, do you know what, this has suppressed it quite a bit actually. Not had too many weeds come back here, which is good. And then yeah, we're just gonna tidy up this little section here, and then I just want to get in. I wasn't going to put my rosemary in, but I actually am going to put that in here, because one of my things for growing rosemary is to make rosemary oil for my hair. So fingers crossed that can go in, and I might also put one of the thymes in here as well. But having a little look at everything that I put in the other day, it's all looking pretty good. I'm pretty pleased now that the lavender has actually been broken up. I may even go round and just cut a few more of these bits off, or just like cut them down quite a bit, because I really want, you can see now it's really coming back to life, and it's growing a lot quicker now that I've separated them a bit. So if I can just give it a little bit more energy to put into the new bits rather than this, or a little bit more space, maybe that's what it needs, hopefully we should get a really nice batch of lavender this year, which will be really good because I've got some really big plans for it, which I'm going to do in another video actually. I was going to make a video, which I do every year, and it's kind of like my plans for the next season. However, I know that we are currently nearly at the end of February, and I usually do it for New Year's. So I was wondering, is that still something you'd be interested in? Because I wasn't going to do one because I didn't really know what the plan was, especially at the start of the year. Didn't even know if I would have the plot. So yeah, I'm wondering whether that's still something that's worth doing, whether that's still something you'd be interested in or not. But let me know down in the comments, because I can always get something filmed this week. Because I've got some really exciting bits planned, but obviously I don't 100% know they're going to go that way. But I think it might be quite a nice video to do so that you can kind of understand why I'm doing things. But yeah, if you think it's pointless now that we're in February, just say. But yeah, I think it'll be good. I think I'm going to start with this bed, just because it hopefully should be a nice easy job of just pulling one little bit back, seeing how hard the ground is, and if it is too hard then not, but if it is too hard then we leave it, but if it's not too hard we can just sew a couple of lines of carrots in maybe. Okay, so let's have a little look, shall we? Okay, it suppressed the weeds a lot, I won't lie, because this was quite a weedy bed actually. Some of them have obviously pulled through, but I'm hoping maybe I can just take a hoe to it, and it should be okay. Let me just quickly grab, let's just see. Oh, do you know what? The ground actually looks all right. So what I might do is sew a line of carrots going down here and then cover it back over just to try and keep the moisture in and the frost off, and we might be all right. It's risky, but I take the risk every year and it pays off, so we're going to go with it. The ground feels so lovely, guys. I don't know what I did to this bed last year, but the soil feels gorgeous. Oh, we've even got ourselves an onion. I think I'm just going to leave that. Okay, so the idea is, oh, let me move this over. For this bed is also going to be a brassica bed. So the idea is that I'm going to do some bits that are going to, so if I do like a line of carrots that are going downwards, I can then also do a line of broccoli or brassicas or something that grow upwards, and then I can get in some beetroot, and then I hopefully can kind of consistently be sowing as well some carrots, so that I have some all through the season. Because what I'm finding is that I'm obviously sowing them, I get a whole batch of them and then I don't have any left. So I'm kind of going to work this whole bed in sections. I can't remember what you call it. I'll put it on the screen. This is becoming a thing, isn't it? But yeah, so today I'm just going to do my carrots along here. I might do 2 rows of them actually. Or should I just do one? I'll do 1 row for now, and then we'll go from there. I don't trust myself to do it from the packet. I tried it once, and it didn't end well. I am just gonna sow quite a bit, and then I'm gonna thin out. It gives me the possibility of a higher success rate, but also trying to put some of these tiny, tiny seeds in one by one. I just don't feel like it's a valuable moment of my time. And plus, you get 9 grams, I think, of it from Premier Seeds, which is where these run. So these are the Amsterdam Forcing. And it's just, I think they were like £2 or something. So hopefully this year, on one of my things to do is to actually save seed. So maybe like the last batch that we do won't be for eating. They will literally just be for sewing. Before I forget, you can't really see what's written on it, but it's more so just for where am I going to put it? What side? Actually, if I do it in the middle, because that is where the middle of the things are going to come back. So let me put that back. God, I feel like I'm becoming an old lady sometimes. Put that one back in there. And we will just use this as a test run, really, just to see how they go. So the idea was that this year, this kind of side of the plot was going to be a little bit more self-sufficient in its own right, in a way where anything that went over this side, all I needed to do was kind of leave it and just harvest from what it is, rather than taking it out the ground, putting things in. So obviously, like my fruit, my roses and my trees are kind of all that side where I don't keep having to take them in and out the ground. Whereas like things like here, it's going to be tomatoes, peas, sweet peas, pumpkins, just things like that, really. So that will kind of be the only bed over that side that I have to work a little bit more. And then all I have to do is, for this side, is hopefully find a good watering system that I can kind of put down, and get a nice tank that I can maybe just attach a hose to, turn it on and off, and I don't have to spend 20 minutes every time I'm here going. Luckily, I've got the water butt right here, but I don't have to keep going back and forth and spending my time watering, because my time here is going to be really valuable this year. So I don't really want to spend majority of it watering. So if I can figure out a way to do that, I might get one of those, I think they're the gardenia ones, when they've got like tiny little holes in them. So yeah, but I'm just going to quickly go around now and tidy these little bits up. Just going back to the carrots, guys. Oh, here they are. So this is my other pack, but this is what I've just planted, or sown, should I say. So these are from Premier Seeds Direct, I think they're called. If you have any carrots varieties that are your favorite, please do let me know, because I'm on a mission this year to find my favorite carrot. I love them so much. They're my favorite crop to that grow. They have a really good sentimental feeling behind them. Fingers crossed my mum's not watching right now. But they remind me of my nan so much, because when I would take a day off school because I was sick, we would always go to Dorrington's and she would grab me a carrot cake. And I just love them so much. So yeah, I'm determined to find like my favorite variety this year. It's kind of like the one crop I'm gonna be having quite a lot of varieties of. I'm gonna try and stick to really simple things this year. So yeah, let me know if you've got any favourites, and I will still have some time to order them. So yeah. Oh, and if you do have a favourite, let me know where you get them from as well, because I know sometimes people obviously have like their favourite places to get seeds from, and I am like that as well. And I've kind of got stuck in this hole of going to the same places over and over again. So if you know any other seed companies as well, let me know, and I'll have a little look on their site. So there were a few bits I wanted to keep. So I've just popped that over there. Because it seems to be doing okay still. I did want to keep that because that's a dandelion. What was that? I don't know, but it looks pretty, so we're going to keep that one. That one was done. That one was done. Done, done, done. That can go. That can go. And then we'll give that just a brush over. I do need to find a lot more brown matter for my compost. I think there's far too much green matter in there. So I need to have a little look at that as well tonight, really. She says if she puts another bit in. The ground here feels really clay-like. I don't know why. I don't know what's changed because it wasn't before. That's weird. This stuff looks unreal. Look at that. Gold dust, that is. I'm also going to pull up this patch now and just see how much I managed to suppress the weeds, because there is a hole in it, and that hole looks like it hasn't suppressed it at all. But I don't know if that's just because that's where the light was. Oh, it has. It's done its job. Way, yay. Okay. Thank goodness for that. That one's going there. That one's going there. Okay, great. I'm going to leave it on, I think, just for now, because I'm obviously not ready with the wood chip, but that looks great. Really pleased with that. Absolutely typical. It was glorious sunshine yesterday, and I was working away and I could just hear this pitter patter, thinking, what on earth is that? Heavens opened, didn't it? Of course it did. Typical. The one day I couldn't get to the plot and it was glorious. Never mind, eh? Never mind. But I have made some good progress. Let me show you. So I've just emptied all of that and just kind of spread it a little bit. Let's go around this way. You can kind of just see it just a little bit easier. I've just popped a bucket over the rhubarb. Number one, because it could probably do with some forcing, but also I was really worried that I was gonna catch the rhubarb with a hose. So it was probably best to leave it like that. So I've just done all of that. I have also, well, first of all, look at the size of that parsnip. Very, very pleased with that. It's the only parsnip I got from last year's sowing. Getting there with some of the progress now, which is nice. Starting to come along. I did actually have a little thought that rather than doing beds, I'm wondering about whether, this is very me and very scatty, Rasheen. I wondered about whether, because I was putting out these, do you know, I realised I did a really silly thing, that I could have just put the archway there where the pathway, or where the grass bit already is, would have made things a hell of a lot easier when it comes to planting. But never mind. What I am thinking of doing, I was moving these paving slabs, which I want to keep here just for the moment until I can get the wood chip down, just so I'm not tracing or traipsing soil everywhere. But I am wondering about whether just putting paving slabs down and then just working around them, I think it might be quite a nice little way of doing it. I'm not quite sure yet. It would save me a ton in wood chip. But I'll just have a little think about it, because I've got a few more paving slabs here and they're really easy to pick up off of Facebook Marketplace. So it could be a nice little way of doing it rather than trying to figure out beds for this year. Also, guys, this is how I'm going to keep track of all of my seeds and everything I do at the plot here this year. As you can see, I'm just kind of keeping notes in and when I do things. As you can see, it wasn't a very busy time recently, but just popping in things, and then next to it, if I can keep track, I'm just putting when things have germinated, just to give me a thing. And then with the direct sowing, I think I'm just going to put in roughly what the temperature was as well. That is just going from Apple weather, so I don't know how accurate that is, but I tried with one of the really little ones last year. I don't know if you can just see it, but in the busier times it was just too hard to manage, so I'm thinking just a day-by-day one. Obviously the weekend's slightly smaller, but it's much easier to keep an eye on it. But I think that's going to be key this year, is to really just take as many notes as I can and at the time. So rather than, I bought a notebook and then realised that I had to put the date in every time. And while the notebook is good because you're obviously not limited to that date, if I'm not going to be here the next day, and I know I'm not going to be here the next day, I can always go into the next date anyway. It just helps take one element out of it, that I don't have to remember what the date was and things like that. And it's just easier to like kind of flick back to things compared to if I'm trying to find notes or specific notes. I'm hoping it'll just make things a little bit easier. I still do have my notebook that I'm using just for like general notes, really, just things that come to my head, ideas I've got for the plot. So yeah, I do still have that, but if you're trying to find an easier solution for keeping notes, I highly recommend picking one of those up. And that was £3 from where was it from B&M. I don't know if you have that outside of the UK. I know I have a few people that don't live in the UK that watch this channel, so you may have something maybe like a Target or something like that, or a Walmart, but you should just be able to pick up a really cheap day-to-day calendar. Really good little thing I found. Okay, I'm running out of time. However, I just quickly went round and cut the grass down as much as I could, and then I just had a little wander and a little think. Sometimes I feel like especially like when I run, I always find it that I process information, or I can get things moving in my head a little bit quicker, or just a little bit better, really. So I just had like a little wander, really like looked at stuff, and I've had a little thought. I was looking at this raised bed and thinking, ideally it will go on one of these bits of grass, because obviously not going to be able to plant into that properly this year. So if I can put a bed on it, and at least I can use part of it, or I can always build another one as well and do one there and one there. Then I had a little thought, why don't I? Because it's going to be really difficult to plant into here for the sweet peas, any of the climber bits this year. Just because I should be all right probably that side, but obviously here, not ideal. These decking boards, I think were like £6 each from B&Q. And they're actually only half of that whole width. So they're actually only that, which is probably about maybe 10 centimetres, if that. And the idea is, what I'm thinking, if I build just half of that one, so it comes up to here, this level here, so probably like in line with this bottom thing, and I build one just a bay, it goes all the way across down that side and all the way down this side as well. Fill it with compost, because it probably won't take that much to fill it, because it'll only be as well that wide. So what, 45 centimeters wide, 50 centimeters wide, not even that. And then I can just fill it with a couple of bags of compost, or even just the stuff that comes out of this, and plant everything into that for this year. I can then move this back a little bit, maybe to like the back end of that. And it will just enable me to plan a little bit easier into that. Obviously, cost wise, it's a bit annoying that I'm having to pay out again, but I'm also wondering whether I can take this apart and see how many I can get along there, because these are only half width. So just something really to think about. I actually might measure that now and see if that is a possibility of doing something like that. Good news, I've just measured out all of the panels of the wood, and I've got 720 altogether, and each side is 3 meters long of the bamboo canes and 45 wide, which means that we've got 690, which is perfect. I've also got loads of these battens from when I cut it before still left in the shed. I've got loads in here, so I think that will be our next job, is to take this apart and build a nice bed to go along the sweet peas, and then I can always find something else in the long run to go over these, or if just for this year, just don't bother planting in these sections, and we'll see how we go. But yeah, I think that will be a really, really good option. I've also just had a little play around with a couple of other bits. So I've just popped the rose by the shed, and I think in the summer that'll look really lovely, and it will push me to do a nice seating area at the back here, or just something here that I can sit at. I've just moved one of the other small potted rose over into the this bed over here. Not sure how I feel about it yet, but we'll go with it for now. It was just to kind of move this, and then in doing that, it also made me I just wanted to have a little look at what started it off. I moved this pot here just because I wanted to see what the line was between here at the back, along where, so this is where the edge of the bed is going to be, and the tomatoes are going to go along here. They're not going to go in that, they are probably going to go in the ground, and I'm going to build a structure here, but it lets me know kind of where this is going to finish. And it is a lot of room, and obviously I'm not going to really be able to plant in here this year, So I actually am going to move the compost heap and put it at the back here. So the idea will be that if I move that over, I can then bring this bed all the way out up to this line here. I can put these roses into the ground. I can probably put this one as well into the ground here, because I obviously can't do it at the moment because I need to be able to get into the compost heap. And I will still be able to access the roses here from this side, and also I will have the pathway that will go down there, and I'll probably put maybe another tree into the end there, because I've got a cherry tree at my old house still which can go in there, but I was going to put it over here, so I could get a couple of other bits to go here now if I'm going to put the cherry tree in this corner here. But I think it will just sit a lot nicer, and I'll be able to build it a little bit better over here as well. The reason it's not sturdy at the back is because I've obviously built the fence first, which is a bit of a pain. But yeah, I think that will look really, really good. Sorry guys, I just bumped into Philip. He just came down to have a look at my roses, and then I just popped up to his, and he was just going through some bits with me, showing me how to bud up roses, just plans for the season and thing, which is really nice. I love getting to catch up with him. And he said that my roses were looking really good, so feeling very, very pleased with myself. But I think that is going to be it for today, guys, because I'm absolutely freezing. And it's been one of those days where I feel like I've done nothing, yet quite a lot all in one day. I don't know why. It just feels a bit of an odd one today. But yeah, leaving with some really good ideas and things to put into place, plans to be made. So should be a really, really fun evening. I'm going to make some plans as soon as I get home. Have some food because I'm absolutely starving. And then just a really nice evening. I was just having a little play around with some plans. So yeah, I'm not quite sure when I'll be here next, but I'm sure I'll be able to pop here next week sometime. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely weekend, and I will catch up with you all soon. Take care, guys. Bye.